On to Movies and Money with movie man Erik Childress, founder of the Movie Madness podcast. Erik, critics are giving low marks to two films that debuted last weekend. What happened there? And what about the anime film making news on two fronts?
That's right, Angie. Critics were not crazy at all for last week's big releases of A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey and the football horror film Him, the latter of which became the fourth worst reviewed film of the year at Rotten Tomatoes for films opening on over 3,000 screens. It received some savage reviews, and they may have been bad enough to knock it out of its chances to take the number one slot, which it seemed poised to given the state of horror over the last several months. Instead, it opened at $13.2 million in second place. A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey, meanwhile, arrived at a cost of $45 million and opened to a minuscule $3.2 million. The reviews were not nearly as bad as Him, and I know more than a few critics who really like Journey, but financially it is a big misfire. That meant for a second week in a row, we saw Demon Slayer Infinity Castle win the top spot with $17.3 million. On the downside, it was a fall of 75.5% from its $70 million opening last week. But it is the biggest drop ever for an exclusive theatrical release, opening to over $47 million.
Big news dropped this week about a new Taylor Swift theatrical event hitting theaters October 3rd, and sales are already through the roof.
Yeah, so the news dropped that theaters would be carrying a new Taylor Swift event tied into the release of her new album. Let's just say that every studio releasing a film that weekend probably started swearing profusely, especially Dwayne Johnson, whose Oscar-hopeless The Smashing Machine opens that weekend. No, it will be all Taylor, as the official release party of Life of a Showgirl will open number one the weekend of October 3rd. In its first 24 hours of pre-sales, the event grossed $15 million and could be headed for more than triple that just in those 3 days, if not more. You may remember that just 2 years ago, the Eras Tour opened at $92.8 million, the second biggest October opening of all time, and I would not be surprised if this event hit the top 10 as well.
This weekend brings the highly anticipated film One Battle After Another. Here's a clip.
You have to understand, Willa.
Me and Mom used to run around and do some real bad shit. They got hurt. Now they're coming after us. I'm sorry.
I didn't ask for this. That's just how the cards were rolled out for me.
It's not cards. You don't roll cards. It's dice.
Dad, what is wrong with you?
Now you think this could be the film of the year?
On multiple fronts, Angie. Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another is not just the most timely film ever to deserve that moniker, but is also one of the most propulsive, relentlessly entertaining films of the year that could also be headed for a bunch of Oscars, including Best Picture. The film stars Leonardo DiCaprio as a former member of a revolutionary group living on the lam with his teenage daughter when an old enemy with the full backing of his own army comes looking for them. That old enemy is played by Sean Penn in one of his scariest and funniest performances. This is all just the tip of the iceberg for a film that is about the varying degrees of offense and defense we must all play in order to keep living in a time that seems to be aggressively fighting back both physically and emotionally. All wrapped up in a film that just never lets up over 2.5 hours and is filled with big laughs and tremendous entertainment. It also gives Warner Brothers the chance to become the first studio to ever release 8 films in a row to open over $40 million. That may be a lofty goal, but One Battle After Another deserves at least as much, as it may end up being the best film released in 2025.
Thank you, Erik.
Thank you, Angie.